What is up, YouTube? This is Charles with Change Space. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about something that every home needs, and that is a receptacle for the wall that has USB ports in it. And they just happen to be some fast charge ports, so they will charge all your devices quicker, like tablets, phones, and all that. And I have it right here. And this is going to be a video that talks about reviewing it, which I've had the other one installed for about 6 months now. And we're going to cover about how to install it, which most people need to know, but please be safe. If you do not feel comfortable installing this, please hire a professional, find a professional that can do it. It can be a little bit more pricey. It will up the price, of course, but yes, just be safe, and we will be covering some safety tips on how to be safe. So, what it comes, the box is just this. It's a little box. It houses instructions, which you can read if you do order it, and it has the outlet. It's kind of on the larger size of a receptacle, but it is very easily manageable. It's real simple to install. There's a place where a wire goes here and a wire goes here, and then the ground right there, and you just screw it in. We will cover all of this, so do not freak out. Now, this outlet is $23.99 as the creation of this video for a 2-pack. So like I said, I have 2. I installed the other one, and I absolutely love it. I will probably buy more if I find that more outlets in my home need them. The only thing now, this is the 3.1 amp USBs. It says it right on it. They charge everything very fast. So you can have 2 USBs and plugins as long as they're not the big massive blocks that will block it. Now, the tools that you will need. Now, whenever you do install a receptacle or any outlet, you do need to shut off the power to that specific outlet. And sometimes that does include your ceiling lights. So I would recommend a portable light. This is a rigid portable light that has the battery pack that uses with your drill. It's an amazing light because it's adjustable. Or this is a head lamp that you just strap to your head, so it is a hands-free device, and I use this all the time without any home project that has to do with electricity, just because it's so easy, and it makes holding, you can just look straight at whatever you're doing, and they have light there. A few other things: wire strippers and a screwdriver. And this is one of my favorite screwdrivers because it does Phillips and flat, all the above. And it has larger and smaller, so it's kind of a 6-in-1 tool. I'll have this linked. I'll have all the tools linked down below, so you can buy it on Amazon, or you can just go to any of your local hardware stores or Walmart's, Targets, and they will be sold there. We need to be safe whenever we're doing this. I have a non-contact low voltage tester. Pretty much, you push this button and it just beeped, and if you get close to an outlet, like anywhere where there's electricity, it will go off. Beeping, that's the sound it makes. You want to get one that does play a sound for audible. Not only does it flash, but it's audible. Or if you do not have this and you have a light, a lamp as an example, you could plug in the lamp with it on, and you leave the room whenever it's on, and you will go flip off the switches and figure out which one goes to that outlet. Then you can work safely. If the light bulb turns off of the lamp, whenever you flip that switch, that does mean it lost power. Remember, safety first. And if, like I said, you can turn off power to the whole house with the master switch, or you can actually find the individual switch, but your whole house loses power if you do the main master switch. Now, this is going to start our how-to portion of this, of replacing this outlet receptacle with this one. Now, because this had the older style, 2 separate ones, did not have I had to get another plate to fit right on it also, these are standard. I will have one of these linked also below. They're very cheap, like $1.50 even at the hardware store. So for starters, I did turn off the power. You always want to make sure the power's off. I do have a side lamp that would be on, but it's off, as you see. Now, This is a non-contact tester. See how it flashed? Now, there's no electricity coming out of this, so it is safe. Now, all the power is off to my living room. So like I said before, you had to have multiple power sources, light sources, because it does get dark. Now, this is a flathead, so on my little tool that I showed you earlier, take that out, flip it over to flathead. Then, it's real simple. Unscrew it. Put that down. Now, this was painted. I highly recommend to never do that, because it makes it hard to get off, like so. Now, the hard part is sometimes whenever it is painted, it doesn't cover fully, as you can see. So we'll have to repaint that one later. But this is going in kind of a concealed spot, so it's not a high priority to paint it. That's why you always pull off these faceplates whenever you're going to paint, and don't paint those because you don't want to get paint in there because it can mess with the wiring. I have an older home. It's not that insanely old, so it is up to proper wiring code. So there should be 3 wires in there. The ground, hot. Alright, that one's loose. And these are all rusty. Now you could use a power drill if you want, but it's not that hard to do.
I will fast forward through this for you guys.
Alright. It was loose, it was just spinning. So, you literally just pull these out. Oh, and there's more here because it is plugged into the other outlets. So that does take a little bit of work. Try to turn this so you can see it. The nice part is it is labeled, if it's up to code, they are labeled white right here. This one's labeled white, hot black, then that is neutral. So I always loosen white, black, and neutral, which is always the uncovered wire. Now I always loosen up these before I get started, and on the newer outlets they do have a Phillips and flat combo, so whichever one you want to do. So literally just loosen that pretty much as far as it'll go. Sometimes these are very, you gotta kind of break them loose almost. Alright, so this one is, that one was loose already. And this one was not, and this one is loose. Alright. Now these have those same holes. Now you do not want that wire to be showing. That is why you bring your wire snippers, which strip wires and cut wires, and they can bend wires to curl around this if you want to do it that way. These have insert points, and then you tighten it down, or you can curl it around that, whichever one you do desire. Now sometimes these are a pain to get out. If you want to always make sure that you're proper, you can take one out, put one in here, take another one, put it in here, and kind of just move one over. I'm just going to pull everything out. Oh, that's all flat. As you see, this ground is, you could sometimes use that to get it out. It's just a matter of kind of finagling it out. There you go. And this is already curled. I'm going to just leave it curled because there's no insertion point. There's no insertion point for the ground there. I'm going to do this ground last just because it's the most easiest. And those you just pull out. Just literally wiggle, 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 and pull. And pull. And pull. So now you have all your wires mangled up there, okay? So, black, that's going to need to be cut down a little bit. So I'm just going to take a little off the top because I do not want any wires showing in mine. There we go. That'll be perfect. So I'm going to do this one about the same. There you go. Don't want to lose these because these little nips of wire, and they kind of hurt sometimes if you step on them. So, black to black. I'm going to put it in this. Put this one in there. Then, kind of hold him in there as I'm doing it. And I'm going to tighten this guy up. And that should, on these newer ones, tighten that up. Now, an electrician once taught me to do the yank test. Grab one wire, give it a yank. Grab another wire, give it a yank. And that those wires are in there solid because there's not going to get any more than a simple yank. And you know that those are not going anywhere if you do give them a simple yank. Now, don't yank on it with all your strength. Just literally give it a little pull. Now, these might be the right size, actually. Oh, that one's already staying in. Get a little test push, and it's not going anywhere. There we go. So I'm going to do the same thing to this guy. I'm going to hold him in there as far, make sure they go in far enough. Oh, that one needs to be nipped up a little bit. All right, perfect. I'm going to hold that, push those wires in, take my screwdriver, and tighten them down. There you go. And of course, yank test. Yank, yank. All right, and doubles. I always do once a simple check. Black, white. That's what black wires into the black side, white wires in the white side. And before you get to hurry, make sure you turn that around to where it will be the right way. Because whenever you get all of these wires on there, it does get very, very tricky to finagle them. Give you a little bit of trouble. This one just needs to be opened up a smidge. There we go. Now I finally got that wire in there, and I'm going to kind of just bend it to where it fits properly. Kind of give it a little squeeze. It just needs to be in contact. And tighten it down, and of course, yank test. It's not going anywhere. Now, I always try to start one of them, then start the other one. Just because it's easier to do it all whenever it's all loose. Sometimes you got to kind of fold the wires on themselves, kind of make an S pattern. There we go. That one's getting tighter. And on newer receptacles, so they come in flatheads and Phillips. So whichever tool you have. On older ones, they come a lot of them come flatheads. It just has to do with the code that they had. You just got to get it tight, and you want it to be as straight as possible for finishing touches. So that is that, my friends. That is in there. Then These newer plates come with the screws already in there. Some of them you could add lights. They have lights on them. And you literally just tighten this up. And please excuse the paint job. I think it was like that whenever I bought it. And electrician once taught me he always likes to have these vertical. And there you go. That is that. Now we're back. Power's back on. I had it turned off on the box. I have a little picture of the box and which switch it was. So I literally plugged this in. Wow, that lamp instantly turned on. So now the best part about this, of course, is the USBs. So take an iPhone cable, plug it in, and another iPhone. It's all one cable. Whoop. And you plug it in. Wow, it's working. It is solidly charging now. So it is that simple. Just please be safe. Always make sure the power is off. And that means it's working. See? No, close to the power. Close to the power. You should really get one of these. I highly recommend them. They're not that expensive. They're anywhere from 10 to 50 bucks. Whichever, if you want to buy a name brand or a cheap one. This is a cheap one. And I always verify it before I turn off any power that it's working. In this one, press the power and it beeps once. It lights up. Then you get closer, you can hear the beep. So thank you for watching that how-to portion of the video. Again, if you do not feel comfortable after watching this video or any other videos you may have watched, please hire a professional to do so. And as always, thank you for joining us on Change Space. And if you liked the video, please click the like button. If you want to see more, subscribe and then click the bell for notifications. And as always, have a phenomenal day.